Hello! Welcome to your first little flip video of AP Chemistry. So, I'd like to give you this briefer about what should the unit look like for me. This is a normal guide to success. I generally don't point you to outside resources because either they take things too deep, not deep enough, they don't focus on the things I want you to do. This is why it's a guide for my class. Let's take a look. So, note-taking. When you do reading, should be labeled with each section. Students read the sections assigned, summarizing the key ideas, thoughts they have to ask a question about or a question, reference any key tables, pictures, and vocabulary. Do not copy down examples as they are there for you to look over, but do summarize the steps and ideas they present. This is an example of myself doing this for much later. Again, it's not meant to be like AP Euro where you're copying down everything word for word. For the lecture, labeled with the section, students watch and take notes summarizing the key ideas, thoughts they have to ask about or question, reference any key tables, pictures, and vocabulary. You're expected to watch in full, and notes are provided as a Google slideshow, so you can add notes to those so you don't have to write everything down. Next, practice. So again, whether you're writing it from AP Classroom or Pearson, you answer all the questions, but on both, or I should say for Pearson, if there's a typed out response, just put an X and write the response on your paper. I'm not going to read or grade these. I'm just trying to see that you answered it, and of course you have the accessible parts there. Problems are assigned to be completed, showing all work for calculations, written out explanations and diagrams if needed. Label the practice the way the problem says itself, like Self-Assessment 12 or Exercise 10.25. Okay, this is like 15.1, Conceptual Concepts, I think that is, 15.4, 15 Reading Question 2 for Pearson. For the quizzes, I usually put them as like 7.1, A, B, and C, 7.2, A, B, C. This helps give reference to not only how I can help you, but how you can find it in the key itself. When doing the Pearson practice, all questions should have something written to summarize key ideas about the question, calculations needed, concepts covered, things missed by the student, etc. For typing and explanations, again, just put the X and actually write the answer on your paper. Check the key provided for evaluating your answer. These will be checked daily with each assignment, so I'm going to see are you actually completing these and marking those down accordingly. But like I said, even if there's just a response, I'm putting the key concept that was there. Everything should have something. Next, demos and labs. Demos are to be titled and organized in the notebook and added to the table of contents for the course. Often these are clustered to save space. I've made a page for each unit. Follow the guidelines for a good notebook, given in separate file for getting ready for the labs. These are going to be completed and turned in for feedback that is utilized for AP exam and for reference letters. All components of the lab are to be completed and organized for clarity. That's done quite a bit in the idea for the organized printed notebook I had printed for us, and turned in electronically the day of the test. Do not procrastinate on these. When you do a lab in class, you should complete it that night. That's the way it should be done to not feel stressed and progress poorly. Now, there's some good examples of working. Talking about calculations, maybe even showing how to do some things, not copying, okay, and talking about post-lab questions. Bad examples of working: you'll never write while looking at someone else's work, ever. You can look over it, nothing else in your hand. You should also not use other groups' better data, copying someone else's calculations, even if they're in your group, you do it. Writing down someone explaining calculations, writing down what someone is saying about answers to post-lab questions, and most importantly, in today's digital age, giving anyone imagery of your work. The use of AI is not prohibited at any part of this, as these are assessments, so therefore use of that will also constitute not being able to demonstrate this yourself, i.e. no evidence of your learning. The last little bit that we do before our part is the progress check assigned on AP Classroom. Should be done at home, alone, like a test. You might want to time yourself. Problems are assigned to be completed, showing all work for calculations, written out explanations and diagrams if needed. When doing the progress check, all questions should have something written out to summarize key ideas about the question, calculations needed, concepts covered, things missed by the student, etc. So you can see an example here. Unit 7, I just put the number, what the letter was, and kind of the concept behind it. Not necessarily the response, like just copying down what it said, but like what the main idea was here. And then I correct it, go back, add some stuff so I can see that I've understood what I need to know. And then we rinse and repeat for every type of unit. All right, if you ever have questions, please do ask. There are expectations in this class for me to consider your work to be completed, and that's what we're going to be looking for throughout this year. Take care and talk to you later.